in the last episode, School of Science and Technology Singapore came out tops in Semi-Final 1, while NUS High School of Math and Science outdid the competition in Semi-Final 2. This time, we'll take a look at the remaining teams competing for dominance. There will be 2 semi-finals with arduous challenges that will push the teams to the max. Now, only the top-scoring team from each semi-final will get a spot in the grand final of the National STEM Championship 2024. So with that, let's take a look at who is in semi-final 3. They are Catholic High School, Swiss Cottage Secondary School, DPS International School, and Anglo-Chinese School Independent. The Health Sciences Authority, or HSA, plays a critical role in forensic science, particularly in the collection and analysis of evidence from crime scenes. One key aspect involves investigating road accident cases, where the forensic scientists conduct toxicology testing, DNA analysis, accident scene reconstruction, and vehicle examination. This undertaking requires thoroughness and great precision because based on their findings, critical decisions are made that can determine the outcome of legal proceedings.
All of you are going to be forensic scientists for a day. And the first station is the fiber station. If you look at this fiber, it's actually under 200 times magnification. But what do you notice about the shape? Which cross-section do you all think will this be? This one. Very good.
From the briefing this morning, we have learned about the fiber testing, and also she gave us a brief summary of what each fiber and its function. And I think that it helps us not only in this challenge, but also in the real world.
What we have in the garage here today is a simulated vehicle that's been involved in a collision. And one of the important ones that we do is also traffic crash reconstruction. And we utilize different equipments, and we like to demonstrate a laser scanner. And it's able to collect and record data points of objects, vehicles, and roads.
Today, we actually learned a lot of things on how forensic science goes on behind the scenes. When we headed to the garage, there was also many different, very interesting softwares that they use to try to remodel the situation and also to sort of detect bloodstains and use some chemical reactions.
So basically, the overlay is used so you can recreate the scene.
Yes, correct.
So tour is an important part of the experience because it allows us to learn that the subjects that we learn in school can be applied in real-life applications, in this case forensics. So it was good that we had a chance to explore the equipment and have a hands-on experience.
Like what I said earlier on, it's just a thing.
I think it was a very educating experience. I think we learned a lot of new things that we didn't know before at all. And it was a really fun experience because we got to volunteer as well in some of the stations.
Teams have 90 minutes to use forensic science to investigate and analyze an accident's crime scene. Some materials are provided to assist the teams in their forensic analysis. But teams must use all their critical skills and acumen to determine what happened and who's the guilty party. Given their rudimentary skills, can the teams uncover the truth and ensure that justice is served?
The way we decided on which members of the team would do which job was because we each have our own different strengths. So that's how we delegated the jobs. What am I doing?
Wait, can you just check the video FPS or something?
Oh wait, the video zooms and the camera zooms.
Oh, is that why?
Different.
I think one of the more difficult aspects of this challenge is the clash between the video timings and the frames that they gave us. So the two timings didn't actually match with each other.
I think the video FPS changes slightly. How about we say we explore both methods and then we just take average as the final result?
Oh.
So today we will be presenting our findings on this incident.
Okay, firstly, we measured the speed of the car through camera matching. So we chose frame 50 as our start frame. We wanted to minimize inaccuracy when finding the distance traveled by the car due to a curvature in the part of the road. So hence we used frame 85 instead as our end frame.
In conclusion, we hypothesized that after being chased by the police, this car drove at a really high speed and it collided with the pedestrian, causing the pedestrian to slide over the roof of the car. This meant that there would be trace amounts of blood on the bumper and the roof of the car, which is what we found.
You are dealing with constant speed, right? Right. How can you validate this assumption?
To validate it, we would have to take our speed at 2 different points. For example, we measure the speed of the car from when it first appeared on the video to the halfway mark, and then from the halfway mark to when it last appeared on the video, and then we compare the 2 velocities we find.
They were very clear in presenting their findings, how they arrived at the different results. And they were also very clear about the limitations of each of the tasks, and they explained it very well.
I feel that we have a quite good chance of making it to the grand finals. Yeah.
Yeah, approximately 33.5. 33.5 into 14.
So first we opened the phone and tried to find some software in that, but we found out that there's no software in the phone, and we've been given slides that you have to place in front of the phone. And then me and Arjun, we tried to position the translucent film in front of the phone so that it matches with the background, and then one of us would go and place the model of the car so that it matches with the translucent film, and then we try to keep our hands steady and take the photo.
We wanted the film in the picture, so we wanted to show the judges proof that what we had done was right.
They did their overlay at the back of the camera instead of placing it on the monitor screen. So maybe that may affect the accuracy of the camera matching.
It wasn't too easy, not too hard. Because we had a lot of time as well, there wasn't like too much pressure while we were conducting the test, so I think that helped us work efficiently. It was pretty good.
So we have the wire given to connect. Okay. So we used the photography mapping to find the accurate position of the car so we can get accurate distance for our calculations.
We took the driver and we found marked all the numbers that we found the fibers, the red fibers in. We did the same thing for the passenger. So there are more number of curly fibers on the driver's seat, so it led us to believe that the driver is person A. We gave it our best, so I think we have a really good chance at going into the finals, so we're pretty confident.
The stakes are getting higher as only the top performing team from each semi-final will advance. Now, with the challenges getting more daunting and teams being judged more rigorously on their STEM knowledge and presentation skills, who will bring a little something extra to the table and seize victory?
So for me, aligning the car to like a certain part of the frames that were presented, to also draw the lines to mark out the points where the car was, if I was able to calculate the distance and therefore calculate the speed of the car.
During the investigation of the case study itself, we definitely have come across many disagreements.
I talk to you.
Wait, Kaji, don't touch.
Kaji, next time don't take out the phone. Okay, do you need my help? Do you need my help with taping?
Yeah.
And thereafter, we actually came to a conclusion which everyone unanimously agreed with. For the incident between the pedestrian and the car, we have concluded that the car actually hit the pedestrian like this, and he hit the bumper, and thereafter flew up to the roof of the car. As you can see over here, you compare the shades of pink, although it's not very apparent on the slides. When given the actual sample, you can see that the shade is very clearly slightly lighter compared to the other two. And the shade of pink over here also matches the oxidation of the negative control test result also.
If you have a chance to redo this all over again, what would you have done differently?
The measurement of speed part took us a bit too long, so maybe we could have improved on that.
We are quite confident that we'll make it into the finals because we have done crime scene investigation before, and that has actually improved the way of thinking and the skills that we have.
So right now we're trying to find out the exact position of the car based on the overlay films. So we just placed the overlay film on top of the camera. So right now we're using frame 50 and we're trying to identify where the car is at frame 50.
This one has no blood, this one has blood, this one has blood.
What do you mean this one doesn't have blood?
This one is oxidation.
When doing the blood test, there wasn't anything that was very hard. But in the fabric test, we had to look through a lot of images, and most of the images didn't contain the results that we wanted to see. For example, the fabric from person A or person B, we only could see samples unlike the color that we were looking for.
Who is the driver of the car? The method we use to deduce this is the facelift fabric test. Fabric is collected from the driver's seat. It is also curved and not straight, and in red color as well. The fabrics collected from person B's trousers, on the other hand, is straighter and not as curved. So from this, we can deduce that suspect A is indeed the driver of the car.
So I was quite surprised that all the teams managed to identify person A as the driver, given that some of the fabric was confusing and there was some crossover between the fabrics between person A and person B.
Did you look and see what was on the tape leaves from the passenger seats.
Yes. We also saw straight red fibers that also matched person B's trousers.
Out of all the schools, we have seen their expressions after going through. So I think we would have a chance. We feel that we did quite well.
With only one spot left, we won't know which team will make it until the end of the episode. Meantime, let's shift our focus to the 4 teams in the last semi-final. They are Raffles Institution, River Valley High School, Nanyang Girls High School, and Zhonghua Secondary School. Found in 2000, the Genome Institute of Singapore, or GIS, is renowned for its groundbreaking research in disease, health, and personalized medicine. GIS uses advanced technology to study the genetic diversity of Pan-Asian populations. This helps scientists understand how genetic traits are spread and can lead to new solutions for complex problems like cancer, stem cell research, and how hosts and pathogens interact. The Institute also plays a crucial role in training new scientists.
It was so cool. They really provided us with a lot of insights into how they deal out discoveries and research.
We saw a lot of lab equipment, which was really cool. It's a complete different experience when you see the machine in front of you.
Teams, welcome to the Genome Institute of Singapore, where you'll be scientists for a day.
This commitment to education and collaboration is why the teams are here for their next challenge involving Madam Fernandez.
I heard that you all have a way of finding out if a 42-year-old Eurasian woman like me is prone to getting breast cancer without a mammogram screening. I do not have any family history of breast cancer, thank goodness.
Do you have other illnesses and take medication for anything else?
Not on a regular basis.
Do you live a stressful lifestyle?
I don't think so, I de-stress with K-drama, so.
It felt as though we were really diagnosing her with something.
We were just trying to find every single way to ask every aspect about what might come up about the task.
Teams have 90 minutes to estimate Madam Fernandez's risk of developing breast cancer. They must use demographic and clinical data provided to calculate her breast cancer polygenic score risk, or PRS. As breast cancer is a complex disease, will teams be able to make an accurate risk prediction?
Me and Ishan will do the first part. You and Jim will do the second part. When we came inside, we were like, oh no, it's genomes. Out of everything, we got bio, and then we were like, oh no.
First childbirth, is it?
It was about 20, right? In her 20s, right? No, that's when she started smoking.
24.
We thought that we were done for, because now I'm gonna take bio. But then actually, it wasn't really very biology oriented. It was like a bit of everything. What causes breast cancer? Number 1, old age. Number 2, family history with breast cancer. Number 3, early menstruation. Here it says that she has a 0.5% chance of getting a 5-year breast cancer risk.
My second part contradicts.
I think we should use our third one.
How long does it take?
Junwei and I are focusing on getting the results for the third question because that will require us to go to a website and download some of the information, which is taking a while to process.
It's still not done.
I think 30 minutes is over. Let me go to the website.
I was checking the website every few minutes and panicking so much. It was so stressful.
With the clock ticking away, will the teams be able to identify the flaws in their presentations and find solutions before it's too late?
Good morning, Madam Fernandez and judges. We are delighted to announce our results.
You don't have cancer, but you can certify your health.
Actually, we expected Madam Fernandez to be there, but then we had such a shock, right, when we were told that she's not there. So we had to change our strategy a bit.
Based on our first data analysis tool, the data tools did not ask for your lifestyle, which is a contributing factor to breast cancer.
Their presentation was very well laid out. They articulated their ideas, they articulated the problems and limitations.
I really like Zhonghua's simplicity and directness. and at the same time, they convey the message across.
My field is not in breast cancer research, but I was able to actually understand what they were presenting.
We're just simple-minded people, so we just think simple thoughts and say simple things.
I'm more of a chemistry person. I was kind of hopeful that since bio came out so much, I was expecting like a chemistry topic for the semi-finals, but we didn't get that, unfortunately.
So her lifetime breast cancer risk is 8.1.
Even though we were given 90 minutes, which was way more than the previous rounds, the tasks require a lot more. Therefore, everyone had to be doing something, making sure that they are making the best use of their time.
The number of risks in the Excel, there were a lot of rows that had like conflicting results that were given, so we weren't sure which one to choose from. 1.0552. So right after intro, we are doing a demonstration of proton. Kiefer is a healthy cell, and when he's healthy, both Joshua and Kiefer will share 1 unit of nutrients each. However, when the mutation occurs, Kiefer will turn into an uncontrolled cell, and all the nutrients will be absorbed by Kiefer.
We put together a comprehensive assessment of Madam Fernandez's likelihood and future of developing breast cancer, meaning that Madam Fernandez's have almost a 2.5 times chance of getting breast cancer compared to a normal average individual.
I noticed that in the presentation, you didn't mention any numbers or the conclusion of the risk report itself.
We thought that the printed out report was handed to them beforehand, so we didn't include any like major data or figures because they could just read it in the report.
We submitted another document which has all the graphs and charts. Oh, it's inside here.
Oh. I was glad that they printed it out. It was really important that the numbers were there because on what we know about risk prediction so far, that communication seemed to be important for women.
In this Madam Fernandez's case, it probably doesn't work that well because she has these mutations.
Oh wait, like, she doesn't currently have these mutations. She has a high probability of developing these malignant genes in the future.
When they are explaining, they would use certain words which they may or may not know would contradict what they have said before. So that if I were the recipient, I would be totally clueless at the very end whether I'm high risk or low risk.
This is the part, the place in the DNA that's different. This and this one is
we basically like split the task. Me and her, we were doing the section 1 and 3, and then the 2 guys were doing section 2. Our plan was to finish it as quick as possible, maybe like 20 minutes, then start on making presentation slides.
Can you fill in 2 at a time, then wait in total? Or you only can fill in? Because you must do this one, you must wait double the time if you don't do it at the same time. Because it's not inputted in, you have to wait again, you know.
There was a bit of trouble with section 3 because we couldn't interpret the data given to us.
Welcome to the RVHS clinic. 4 of us will be your doctors for today.
This PRS value, we have basically compared the data that we have collected from Madam Fernandez's test. Her risk of basically getting breast cancer would be 22.45%.
I am confused by 22.45. How did you arrive at that?
So basically, we got the statistics from a website that says that 1 out of 11 females in Singapore have breast cancer. Basically, we got 9.091% risk of having breast cancer, so we times that by 2.47 that we have previously recorded down due to the PRS.
They use very elegant math. They really understood their data, which really touched me. It's like, in such a short time, they look at so many numbers and they understood the nature of that data, which really impressed me.
When we saw like Genome, we knew that it was something about genetics, and we were wondering if it was about cancer and all of that, and it turns out we were right.
This times this, then you have a product. Then after you sum the product below.
Well, what is this again? What's the label for this? Variant of the gene.
I think we did not understand all the information given to us because it was really a lot. We took quite a lot of time trying to understand that.
Also, they take many chromosome ones, and they take this.
Yeah, but the thing is, we don't know which ones are the affected.
We're pretty sure that not all groups have studied cancer too extensively either. So if we're struggling, other groups are probably struggling too. Oh, guys, it's not worth it spending so much time over a graph. Can we go back to the PowerPoints? Why are we spending so much time? I think we should have left more time to our presentation because we finished right on time. So our content was quite solid, but we weren't too sure on how to present it well.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, hands off your laptops.
We have graphed out the results from her that we have calculated from her situation. Her the polygenetic rate of selection is the polygenetic risk score, and where Madam Fernandez would be at is between like the red dot and the blue dot, and that means her risk of getting breast cancer is relatively high.
They were a bit nervous. In the end, they managed to answer the question.
They stumbled over a few words, but they got most of the concepts correct. It's just that I didn't get that engagement from them so much. If the person you're assessing is your grandmother, would your presentation be enough for your grandmother to understand?
I think if she is our grandmother, she might not understand such technical terms as much. So we might have to delve deeper and explain it more in layman terms for her to understand.
What they presented wasn't wrong at all. I mean, everything was spot on. It's just that the challenge wants something that's understandable to the public. Otherwise, it's just going to remain a report and nothing's going to be done about health.
It wasn't our best performance when I reflect on it, but at the time, it was all we could do.
I bet you're all eager to find out which teams conquered today's challenges and are moving on to the grand final. Well, the wait is over. It's time for the big reveal.
Teams, you guys are from semi-finals 3. DPS International, Catholic High School, Swiss Cottage Secondary School, as well as ACSI. Teams, you guys are from semi-finals 4, Nanyang Girls, Zhonghua Sec, Raffles Institution, as well as River Valley High. And the team that proceeds to the grand finals is ACSI, River Valley High School. Congratulations.
Congratulations to Anglo-Chinese School Independent and River Valley High School for making it through to the grand finals. They joined the ranks of NUS High School of Math and Science and School of Science and Technology Singapore to complete the final 4. And with that, the stage is set for an epic showdown. It's been an incredible journey so far, and I cannot wait to meet the finalists. Don't forget to join me next week at the grand finals of the National STEM Championship 2024.